news is the first draft of history. It is immediate and takes place in real time. Legends take longer to develop and are sometimes based on myth. This Fox News series looks at the truth behind the legend. Previously on Legends and Lies, the Patriots.
All men are created equal. King George has declared us rebels.
General Washington demands information.
I'm Ethan Allen. They will follow no one else.
General Washington expects the entire British fleet within days.
Must put a spy behind enemy lines.
Well, it would seem as if the bloody rebels have finally gotten the message. We haven't seen hide nor hair of one since Camden.
A shame. We could use something to shoot at.
Rebels! To arms, men!
Surrender your weapons now, you Tory filth!
You can fight if you wish, but my men will make quick work of you. Tell General Cornwallis that Francis Marion thanks him for the supplies.
Pushed to their limits by an oppressive empire,
Treason against the crown of England.
a determined group of rebels unites under the cause of liberty. Their quest for freedom will unify a people, ignite a revolution, and forge a new system of government. In time, these brave men and women will come to be known as the American Patriots. Francis Marion, a South Carolina innovator who conceives a new way of fighting, leads civilians into battle, and becomes the father of modern guerrilla warfare. But behind every innovator stands a man, and behind every legend lies the truth.
Gabriel!
Uncle Francis. Colonel Marion. Sir.
Of all the great patriots in the Revolutionary War, one who's often wrongly overlooked is Francis Marion. Those who know him call him the Swamp Fox because of the cagey new approach he takes to war. Once a traditional British soldier himself, Marion no longer sees the wisdom of just marching into battle. Instead, using his own homegrown style of guerrilla fighting, Marion plays a pivotal role in the defeat of the British Southern strategy, and in turn, American victory in the war.
We'll give those redcoats a proper welcome, won't we?
We're lucky to have had peace as long as we've had. I wouldn't be so eager for war if I were you.
5 years into the Revolutionary War, the back and forth in the northern states has turned in the Americans' favor. In response, the British look to the south. With a heavily loyalist population, the Brits have built-in support in South Carolina.
Because there was this large loyalist contingent in the South, the British would go to the South and they would mobilize those loyalists on behalf of the British Empire. And then they would work their way north against Washington.
Many of the officers on the American side don't take this British siege all that seriously. And there's one gentleman who decides he wants to have a great party one evening.
A veteran of the French and Indian War, Marion has a bad feeling as his superior officers throw a party with the enemy on its way.
To the Americans and to victory! Too good to drink with us, Marion?
I do not drink to victories we have not yet won.
No one leaves until we drink to everyone's health, Marion.
I take it the privy is this way.
Hurry back.
Well, Marion is concerned because he knows the enemy is approaching, and so he decides he's got to get out and get away from this party. But he breaks his ankle very severely.
Injured and finished with high-ranking drunkards, Marion leaves Charlestown and possibly his military career. Within weeks of landing in South Carolina, the British take Charlestown, terrorizing resistors and torching homes. It's the biggest defeat of the war for the Americans. 5,000 men are captured. If not for his ankle, Francis Marion would be one of them.
Once Charleston had surrendered to the British, at first the American South just seemed like a dead loss. But when it became clear that South Carolinians themselves would resist British occupation, the British commanders quickly decided they're a problem.
And now a British Expeditionary Force lands with Cornwallis at its head. He was determined to maintain absolute control.
Lord General Charles Cornwallis, commander of the British Army in the South, here to recruit loyalist Tories and crush the rebellion. A relentless general with plans to secure Charlestown and work his way north, all the way to George Washington's Mount Vernon.
Our next objective is North Carolina, and then we move into Virginia.
Your Excellency, there are still scattered groups of rebels.
They must be crushed. All the inhabitants of this province who have taken part in this revolt should be punished with the greatest rigor. They should be imprisoned and their whole property taken from them or destroyed.
Cornwallis's chief enforcer is Banastre Tarleton, commander of the British Legion, who will deliver the message to the Southern rebels himself.
See to it.
Yes, sir.
While little organized rebellion exists, it's still too much for Cornwallis. He orders loyalist militias to scour the region, searching for the slightest disloyalty. With a newfound power, rank, and red uniforms, local Tories begin taking out their aggression on their neighbors.
Your king thanks you for the provisions, Sims, and would thank you even more if you could tell us of any rebels hiding nearby.
My wife!
Let's go. Leave the cart.
The war in the South, that's where it really gets dark. That's where we see war crimes. There was a lot of people just killing neighbors, so it does become kind of civil war, brother against brother down there.
How long do you think this is going to take to heal?
Probably a good 2 weeks.
Who goes there? Show yourselves!
Recuperating and isolated, Francis Marion spends his days on the mend, worrying about his nephew. But with Tories going door to door, looking for rebels, one thing is certain. The war is now at his doorstep.